first. They nor bring good nor bad. They're just neutral, just a medium that can be used for everything. So we as Muslims must be smart in media. This is our challenge. How can we use the digital media platform? How can we use it to spread kindness things, to spread goodness, to spread the value of Islam? But maybe some of you are hesitant, like, what if I'm ashamed? I'm not a good person. I'm afraid that I will be thought as a pious person if I share any kind of goodness things in social media platform. Well, it's our duty to defend our identity as Muslims. No matter how bad you are, no matter how good you are. As Allah has been mentioned on the Quran in Surah Ali Imran, verse 104. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون. Let there be a group amongst you who calls others to goodness, encourage what is good and forbid what is evil. It is they who will be successful. So ladies and gentlemen, the digital media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram is a great place to spread kindness. It's a great place to spread the values of Islam through da'wah. We can be as creative as we can. We can use animation, we can use anything. As creative as we can. So, this digital networking, as a person who wants a positive, who wants a positive development in this digital era, maybe there are a few things that I can share with all of you in order to maintain and gain self-control to deal with this, the flows of information in this digital era. So you can start by attending positive circle, having discussion, read more books. So by encouraging yourself to get into the positive circle, of course we can take moral in face the digital media, in face the development of the digital era. So that's what I want to share with all of you today in facing the digital era, especially we are as Muslims. So maybe that's all for me. Thanks for your attention. I'm Nokta Lydia. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The speech. Okay. We are supposed to agree that bullying, bullying is something that crumbles down the character of the nation. It can crumble down the character of our community as Muslim. My question is, what is your offer to overcome the bullying which is spreading widely in our media?
So the meaning is that there are a lot of bullying that spread in the media. So how
to overcome? What is your offer?
Overcome that.
Your solution that can be used to overcome this problem.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the question. So, in my opinion, to face something like the bullying in the media, like that, is it right? To face the bullying in the media?
Just please.
So, to face it, we have to create a creative platform a platform that can be sustainable for all of the young generation. So that platform, we can make a creative platform for the young generation that can be useful for them to do as creative as they can.
Okay, can you give us an example, the names of the platform that we can use to overcome this problem, especially from among the young people?
Yeah, and actually there are a lot of platforms nowadays. The young generation, we can use like a media who create what community that can contain all of the young people that can create moral, like everything.
Okay, thank you.
The next question is about the meaning of ayah, of words. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal mau'izati hasanati wa jadilhum billati hiya ahsan." Please translate this ayah.
Sorry, can you repeat one again?
The most popular ayah, most popular verse, "Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal mau'izatil hasanati wajadilhum billati hiya ahsan." This is the method of da'wah. Translate to English. You can translate it. Oh, in bahasa Indonesia juga. In bahasa.
No, I haven't learned about that before. I'm sorry.
Oh. Okay, thanks very much.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Terima kasih. Untuk selanjutnya peserta A10. Silakan. Baik. Tema yang dipilih adalah tema ke-7, yaitu keseimbangan dan menjaga lingkungan hidup. Waktu Anda 8 menit, kita mulai dari sekarang.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. Honorable all the judges, honorable all the committees, respectable all the teachers, and unforgettable all my dearest audiences. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most gracious, all praise is due to Almighty Allah, who has bestowed our pleasures for the health, the opportunities, and the happiness we feel today. Peace and salutation be always upon our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who has taught us respectively in order to attain happy and prosperous life in this world and hereafter. And I'll never forget to thank Master of Ceremony who has given me time to speak in front of you all. And in a time, let me introduce myself first. So my name is Mumidatul Rahmah and I'm from Rabitatul Asfiya Islamic Boarding School. And in this occasion, let me deliver my speech entitled Environmental Rights in Islamic Perspective. So, in Islam, we have the rights upon many people. And then Islam taught us to do good with our parents, to speak gently to our parents, to do good with our neighbors, and so on. But however, sometimes we forget that we also have the rights to fulfill the rights for our environment. Have we fulfilled the rights for our environment or not? Or do we ignore about it? Well, as like people, we should fulfill our environment with its rights. Like we should take care of it, and also we preserve the trees and so on. And the Prophet Muhammad also exemplified the eco-friendly and also doing green by planting the trees. And it starts when he was young, when he went to Syria with his uncle and he sheltered under the tree. So under the tree, and the tree is still living till now. After like 1400 years. So this indicates that our Prophet Muhammad is really care about the trees. And besides, we should also take care about environment in terms of loving the living creatures like animals and also trees. And in the time of Rasulullah, there's a friend who really loves cats called Abu Hurairah. And Abu Hurairah he is called Abu Hurairah because he really loves kittens. So it really shows that our Prophet and also his friends really care about environment, including the animals. And we always know about the hadith that said, "An-nadafatu minal iman." Because it's really popular, I guess we have implemented in our lives that we really care about the environment by cleaning all the rubbishes and the things. Well, talking about environment and also the balance about it, we should really care about it by conserving the water. Because sometimes we use much water. Take the example when we do a ritual ablution. Sometimes we waste the water much than what we use. So we should conserve the water. And then we also care about rubbish. When we look at around us, there are many rubbishes. We should clean all of them, and we need to do planting the trees. Yeah, we plant the trees. And there's also a movement called like 1 person, 1 tree. And in conclusion, as what our Prophet Muhammad exemplified in caring about our environment, we should implement it in our daily lives by doing simple things, such as doing less, using less of water, and also planting the trees, and then cleaning our rooms, our houses, and so on and so forth. And don't forget to love the animals around us too, like the cats and other animals. I guess that's all from me. I'm sorry if there are many mistakes. Don't forget to save the earth because we don't have anywhere to go. The last I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Nice speech. Okay, Mufida, your speech is about environment.
Yes.
Okay. I don't heard you mention one verse of the Holy Quran. Actually, there was a verse related to how to take care our earth, our environment in Surah Al-Baqarah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. Okay, Mufida, you can translate it.
Alright. Maybe I cannot translate it word per word, but the main point of this verse is that about the prohibition for us as humans to not do the the mischief in our land. It's like we're not allowed to do damage our environments, doing deforestation and also wasting toxic rubbish, and also we are not allowed to do pesticides to our environment. All right, thank you.
In this era, there are many people not aware about environment. So, what is the law of Islam about the people who throw the trash into the direct environment?
Pardon, could you repeat that again?
Okay. What is the law of Islam about the people throwing rubbish?
Throwing rubbish at random
Okay.
like that. Alright. In Islam really cares about the clean lines because Allah loves beauty. If there's no rubbish around us, it means that it's beautiful. Allah likes it. So I guess in Islam, it's not allowed for us to, throwing rubbish at random because it makes it dirty, like that. So Islam prohibits the act of throwing rubbish in the street and so on, because we should throw the rubbish in the place in the rubbish can, like that. Alright, thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, selanjutnya peserta dengan nomor B011. B011, iya. Silakan. Baik, tema yang Anda pilih adalah tema ke-7. Tema ke-7 itu adalah keseimbangan dan menjaga lingkungan hidup.
Thank you.
Anda sudah siap?
Of course.
Baik. Waktu Anda 8 menit, kita mulai dari sekarang.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Respectable, my loving brothers and sisters, my name is Bakri Sangaji and I'm from North Maluku. So, we actually find ways to love God in different ways. There is someone who experiences ups and downs, falls, sweats, and bleeds. There are also those who find a way to love Allah through the Quran when He reads it. But actually, fall in love with our God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it requires a learning process. Why? Because loving something that is visible is easier than loving something that is not seen. It's easy for us to love our father, mother, family. Why is it easy? Because we can see them. Even though we love them, sometimes we get angry with them, especially with the invisible. It will be more difficult for us to interpret love. Fall in love, it's harder than it looks. That's the problem why the ancients in Arabia or the Jahiliyyah liked to make idols. They tried to physicalize God. Their goal was to fall in love with God more easily. God is made in the form of a statue, then cross it, and given offerings. Their goal is to make it easier to love God. But Islam, a very perfect religion. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-Islam madina. It's perfect. It has its own special rules. What is that? It has its own special rules. What is that? Don't make statues. Don't make idols for the sake of physicalizing God. Islam doesn't need that. Allah says, it's not time for you to meet me. Why? We will not be strong, let alone us. The Prophet Musa, when he wanted to meet Allah, he fainted. So don't force us to see something that we haven't seen yet. The Messenger of Allah said, don't focus on Allah's substance, but focus on Allah's creation. Because you will not be able to when you try to guess how the substance of your God will be. There will be a time. Later in the mosque, just assembly, where there is none at all. Right now, at a time, you will see the face of your God directly without using a paper. There is a time. Means loving God needs a process. What is the process? Understanding God's creations. Quran Surah Al-Imran, verse 190, Allah says, indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth and whatever is in them, then the night and day are changed. If you think about it, there are signing of Allah's greatness for people. People who can think. When we interpret ourselves with some shortcomings, it's already very perfect. Which of us can control it? Because now, people are a little arrogant. How dare they violate Allah's law? They make sexual laws, make pornography laws, and negative propaganda against scholars. If a country does that, doesn't treat ulama with dignity, you must be prepared for Allah's punishment. Ulama are the substitutes for the prophets and apostles. So we have to make them the decision makers when we are going to do something. Most people have dared to make their own rules even though they can't control themselves. This is the easiest example. Who among us can control the roads in our nails? Anyone can? These are my nails, but I can't control the roads. We are the same as we are weak. What's even worse is that he makes his own rules and he wants us to follow his rules. Look at you, how Allah loves us so much. Have you ever thought that Allah asked us to pay for oxygen from the time we were born until now? That's not a small amount. Our hearts beat, even without us giving orders when we sleep, when we drunk, even though we are crazy until we are sane. We don't need to ask for it. But it can work alone, and only alone. What about the heavens and the earth and their contents? We can see the fruits, the colors. That's a lot. Let's talk about colors. Red, yellow, green, blue, black, white, pink. dark red, orange, and others. It's very much. And then the leaves with many kinds of leaves and have a lot of colors. Seeing the earth and the moon, they can revolve around the sun. That's a sign of Allah's power. If you ask me and say it happened to itself, it's a law of nature. I'll prove to you that it doesn't happen on its own. We can see, for example, this room. Tables, chairs, do they all work out on their own? Of course not. It's the same as the sun and moon. When we try to see Allah's creation with all the perfection of His creation, later we will arrive at رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا سُبْحَانَكَ فَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Glory be to you, my Lord. None of your creation is in vain. We still have many sins. Please save us from hellfire. That's what Allah said in the continuation of the verse, or even verse 191. So verses 190 and 191 are related. So we shouldn't make ourselves busy looking for the essence of God and studying philosophy. It's not like that. But by interpreting God's creation, with that we will come to love God. The more perfect knowledge of Allah, the greater the love of Allah. For this reason, the knowledge of Allah is the highest level of knowledge. There are at least two reasons. Number one, knowledge of Allah produces love for the one who created the creators. Number two, knowledge of God means discussing about God and the value of the glory of science compared to the object being discussed. Ibn Qayyim said, the knowledge of science follows the glory that is learned. We firmly believe that the knowledge of Allah, the names of Allah, the attributes of Allah, and all of His deeds is the greatest and noblest knowledge. When a person knows the goodness of Allah for him and for all creators, then there will be a feeling of love and dependence of the heart on Allah. Because these creators are weak. We need love and protection from the Almighty over all things. Ibn Qayyim explained that love and longing for Allah follow a person's knowledge and high Allah knowledge of Allah. When one's knowledge is more perfect, the love of Allah will be more perfect. Therefore, whoever believes in Allah, the names of Allah, all the attributes of Allah, religious teachings, then he loves Allah more and more. That's all my speech, and I know it's not related, but yeah, that's my speech.
Yes. Okay. Good speech. About environment, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala said, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. In Umum 41. Do you know what's the meaning of this phrase?
Thank you, sir, for your question. Well, nice question, but I apologize, I can't handle it. I can't answer it.
Okay, in Indonesia, in bahasa telah nyata kerusakan di darat dan di lautan akibat perbuatan tangan manusia. Please translate the English. Telah nyata.
Alright, I can't handle it. I can't answer it. Sorry, apologies.
Okay. Please.
Well, you have good confidence.
I try not on it.
After listening your speech, what I know is the contents of your speech was mostly about the creations of the heaven and the earth, the relationship between creature and God, the worshipping of idols or idolaters and idol loving to God and so on. So my question is, what is the correlation between loving to God, worshipping to God, and then the creations of the heaven and the earth and the alternations of the night and day with the topic number 7, protecting our environment? Can you explain us the reasons?
Environment.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I only speak once.
thank you, but I can't answer it. Thank you.
Yes,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik, selanjutnya peserta dengan nomor B012. Silakan. Ya, kita berikan aplaus dulu dong biar semangat. Iya. Biar nggak ngantuk. Baik, tema yang Anda pilih adalah tema ke-10, yaitu mencintai tanah air. Siap?
Insya Allah.
Waktu Anda 8 menit, kita mulai dari sekarang.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for the master of ceremony for the time they gave it to me. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. About this topic, I actually have a title for this topic that I made myself, and I think about it about, I think, a few hours ago. I want to deliver a little speech about the best people for the best nation. Okay, so if we talk about loving our country, of course we all love our country. Everyone, like no matter where we live, no matter what country we live in, it's natural to happen to us. When we're born in a country, we're gonna love that country. It's natural for every human being. But now I want to talk about how we, as a Muslim, how do we love our country in a simple way, but all of us can do it. Like the simple way to love our country, but everyone can do it. Then, as a Muslim, we have an example or our role model for us to do every single thing in our life, to make every decision in our life. We have Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also we have the Quran, we have the Sunnah, and this is the way of our life. Okay, now we're talking about how we love our country as a Muslim. For me, being the good version of Muslim is the best way for us to love our country. Why? Why? Because if you realize Islam set everything in order. Islam sets everything in order. Is it about the governmental, political, or maybe even a little thing that happens in our family? All of it are set in order by Islamic Sharia. So, if you talk about how to be a good Muslim, to love our country, we just need to be the best version of ourselves. Like, when we love something, what we do is to be close to that thing, right? We love our country, and then we're always trying to maybe having an achievement in a national or maybe an international level, and then many things that we can do. But I want to talk about when we, as a Muslim, sometimes we have many problems going on in our life. But sometimes we made the wrong decisions to facing that problem. The thing that we forget is one thing. We forget to bring every problem that we faced in our life to the Quran and Sunnah. Actually, that's the key of every problem in this world. When we're like, so I am an Arabic literature student. I don't know how to say this properly, but I am an Arabic literature student. And there is a subject in my major named Tarikh al-Adab al-Arabi. In that major, I learned about revolution or the progress of Arabic literature from time to time. And in that major, I learned that the people, the civilization in the Jahiliyyah era, they are kind of people with a low standard of civilization. They fight each other, they divided in so many clans, and then many things. But what makes it very important for me is that they unite under the words of La ilaha illallah. After that words united them, Arabic people under Islam, they made such a great community and civilizations. And also, they became an advanced civilization. Almost all of the knowledge, the source of knowledge of this modern era, the source is from the Muslim, the Muslim founder, like from maybe the mathematics and the science. So if we want to love our nation, we just need to be the best version of Muslim. Because actually, Islam has everything that we need. Islam has everything that we need. And if we're being a good Muslim, then maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, maybe our country will become an advanced country too. I think that's all that I can say about this topic. I'm so sorry there's many mistakes, and I know it. So, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
You have good pronunciation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you love your country?
I do.
What is your country?
Indonesia.
Why do you speak English?
I don't know.
No, why don't you know?
Because I learned about English and I love English and I started to try to be fluent in English, and now here I am.
So you speak English because you learn English.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now my question is, you love your country, only loving your country?
I love my country and I want to contribute something as the proof.
Or you love so much, or
Of course, so much.
So much.
I do love my country, sir.
You love Indonesia?
Yes.
Okay. As the student of Islamic boarding house, how to prove that you love your country?
How to prove that I love my country?
Okay.
Actually, the answer is, I already said it in my speech. I want to be the best Muslim. I'm sorry if in my speech I rambled a lot, but being a best Muslim that I could be, I think it is the best way to love our country, because everything set in order in Islam. So we have many rules that, we can apply it in our daily life. Okay. And don't forget that everything that we do, our role model is Rasulullah SAW. So when I love my country, I will be the best Muslim.
Okay. If you learn Al-Quran, you memorize Al-Quran, is it a proof that someone love to the country?
Of course, because by memorizing the Quran, someone will understand what is it inside the Quran.
What is the correlation between learning Al-Quran, memorizing Al-Quran with loving our country?
If we have a good faith in Islam, we're gonna do the Shariat of Islam, right? And the Shariat of Islam teach us how to be a good people in the country that we live. Islam teach us to follow the rules that exist in the society, to obey the government, and everything. And with doing that, we're gonna become the.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
There is a statement, loving our country is part of our faith. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. Some people define as hadith. What do you think about it?
Yeah. Actually, I browsed about that a few days ago, and I read in some articles about this hadith. Some people say that is hadith, but the sanad is da'if. But some people say it's it's a hadith that we can use in every single day because it's sahih like that. That's what I know. I don't want to answer because my knowledge is not for that. Sorry, sir.
This is Mustafa Kamal.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Hadis.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Baik, selanjutnya kita panggilkan peserta dengan nomor B013. 013. Ada. Baik, tema Anda adalah tema ke-6, yaitu merindukan kematian yang indah. Waktu Anda 8 menit. Sudah siap?
Yes.
Kita mulai dari sekarang.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable the judges and respectable audiences. Uhayyikum bitahiyatil islamiyah. Tahiyatan mubarakatan min indillah. Wa tahiyata ahli jannah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahilladzi kana bi ibadihi khabiran basiran, alladzi ja'ala fis sama'i buruja wa ja'ala fiha sirajan wa qamaran munira. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Alladzi ba'atsahu bil haqqi basyiran wa nadhira wa da'iya ilal haqq bi idnihi wa sirajan munira. Allahumma sholli alaihi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim tasliman katsiran. Amma ba'd. In this occasion, I would like to express my deep gratitude to the committee who has given me chance to deliver my speech under the title "Prepare Ourselves to Pick Up the Beautiful of Death." Before I start my speech, I want to ask you, who here doesn't want to death in a beautiful situation? It's nothing in this area. So talk about the beautiful death. We as a Muslim, we must want to death in a beautiful condition. So with this, we must prepare ourselves from now, because death is a situation that can be unexpected, so that all humans can be dead in a time that we don't know. So in this, we must prepare ourselves from this. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is as Allah said in Surah Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Al-ayah. Dear brothers and sisters, rahimakumullah, this verse explains that we are told to always prepare ourselves from now. The prepare ourselves is just to can be praying and can be recite and reading the Al-Quran with a good reading. So the Al-Quran can be the way that we are to prepare ourselves to be a beautiful death. This is the end of my speech. I do apologize for all of the mistakes that I have made. Thank you for your attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Waridha wal inayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Beautiful death. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Kullu nafsin dha'iqatul maut, thumma ilayna turja'un. Do you know this verse?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know the meaning of this verse?
Maybe, but not full.
Not sure.
So, thank you
Okay.
for
Translate it for you.
Yes. I'll try to translate the ayah, the first, so that every people so must be dead. But we know that we don't know.
Thumma ilayna turja'un.
Then the dead people can Summa ilayna turja'un. Then what?
Ilayna turja'un.
Summa ilayna turja'un.
Yes.
Then the dead people can Summa ilayna turja'un. Then the dead people can turja'un. Then the dead people must kembali. Must back to the akhirat.
Okay. There is first name is oh my God. Give us food in this world and food in the hereafter. Please read the ayat. Oh my God. Give us food in this world and food in the hereafter. Please read the ayat. The meaning like this. Oh my God. Give us. This verse.
Yes.
Always we read after Salah.
Can you repeat again? Oh my God.
Give us good in this world and good in the hereafter. This is satu catat. Right.
Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah Maybe they first. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Baik. Selanjutnya peserta 014. Kita silakan. Untuk Anda, tema yang dipilih adalah tema kedua, yaitu perdagangan Islam. Waktu ada 8 menit, kita mulai dari sekarang.
The honorable judges, respectable all the committee of this awesome agenda, respectable all the participants and all the audiences in Allah's protection. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahi wa kafa, walhamdulillahilladzi khalaqal mauta wal hayata liyabluwakum ayyukum ahsanu amala. Assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, la nabiyya wa la rasula ba'da, amma ba'du. First of all, let's thank to the God Allah, the King of the King, Lord of the world, who has given us mercies and blessings. Secondly, peace and salutation to our great messenger, Nabiullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has brought us from the darkness to the lightness, from the bad world to the good world, till we can face this bright modern era filled with technology as we live in today. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to begin by welcoming everybody and thanking you for taking time out of your busy schedule in order to be here. So I don't forget to thank to all the committee and all the judges for giving me this special opportunity to accompany this contest and to deliver my speech. Ladies and gentlemen, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came from the merchant family and background. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam teach us to be considerate of the one who is buying when we are selling some good. So we are allowed to take the profit, but there is the important in the selling, that is blessings. Which means if I say I have 100,000 rupiah, so I have 100,000 rupiah, so I give it for the one who's selling my thing, and after that the one who has given me the 100,000 rupiah is have the very blessing from me. So this is what we call it ridho. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in the Quran, A'udhu billahi minasyaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu la ta'kulu amwalakum bainakum bil batil illa an takuna tijaratan an taradin minkum. Chapter An-Nisa, verse 29. The meaning is, Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu, all the believers of Allah, la ta'kulu amwalakum bainakum bil batil. Don't consume the other wealth by unjustly, but illa an takuna tijaratan an taradin minkum, and be the blessing of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we turn back to the time that the Prophet ﷺ in his era, commerce is really played an important role to spread Islam. Like we can see, the Islamic teaching spread in the West Africa very quickly from the trade. from the commerce. And also, the commerce played an important role in spreading Islam in Indonesia. It means the trade or commerce very important not only for selling and buying something, but also many benefit from this. So ladies and gentlemen, the last message for me, the blessing in marrying and selling not far more important than the deal itself. So ladies and gentlemen, I think enough for me in my speech today. Thanks for good attention, and I hope we can meet in the next opportunity. Thanks for good attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Nice speech, but I have one question for you. Would you like to mention the ethics of trade in Islam clearly?
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I will try. Thanks for the question. I would like to try to answer the question. So the ethic in selling in Islam, the first we have to have the good akad between the seller and the buyer. So the second, the thing that buyer must in halal. So must there's the ridho or blessing between this selling and maybe
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, how about direct selling in Islam?
I'm sorry.
Direct selling in Islam. You know? Direct selling.
Direct selling.
Online maybe.
The online.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thanks for the question. I would like to answer the question. Maybe I think the online selling in Islam, we can say it mubah, because in the application now we can see there is the akad between the seller and buyer with the chat by chat, and I think online seller in Islam mubah, inshallah. Thank you.
Baik, terima kasih. Peserta yang terakhir. Ya, yang terakhir ini ya. Peserta B015. Kalau dia kirim pertanyaan. Baik, tema Anda adalah tema ke-6, yaitu merindukan kematian yang indah. Waktu ada 8 menit, kita mulai dari sekarang.
Honorable judges, respectable audiences and committees, and everyone here today, welcome to the Speech Contest 2022. Russians could say private, British could say hello, or even Korean could say annyeonghaseyo. But as Muslim, we proudly say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hamdan wa syukran lillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udzu billahi min syururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarika lahu. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله لا نبي ولا رسول بعده رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Good evening everyone, my name is Beliana and I am honored to be standing here in
beautiful, blessed place. Well, on 8th of June, I went to my boarding school to administer some documents needed. On my way back home, I met an old man on his black puffy jacket, and he sat down beside me. And he asked me a question that I've never heard it before, and it's just blown up my mind. He asked me, which one do you prefer, Al-Quran or Pancasila? At that time, I was like, yeah, Al-Quran. And then he asked me for a second time, but why there must be Pancasila instead of Al-Quran as our national principle? And he continued, well, listen to me, watch out from this now. Nowadays, out there were so many ideologies and paradigms, but you have to click firmly to the Al-Quran and Sunnah. But yeah, never forget that the principles were two from the Al-Quran, and we discussed many things afterwards. As the fourth president of Indonesia, Kiai Haji Abdul Rahman Wahid said, Pancasila is not religion, does not conflict with religion, and is not used to replace the position of religion. And according to the Wikipedia, Pancasila is the official, foundational, philosophical, and theory of Indonesia. The word was made from two words, derived from Sanskrit. Pancha means five, and Sila means principles. It is composed of 5 principles. Number 1, believing one God, captured in the Al-Quran, Surah Al-Ikhlas, verse 1 to 4. Number 2, justice and civilized humanity, captured in the Al-Quran, Surah Al-Hujurat, verse 13. Number 3, the unity of Indonesia, captured in the Al-Quran, Surah Al-Anfal, verse 73. And number 4, democracy guided by the inner wisdom, which is captured in the Al-Quran, Surah Ashura, verse 38. And the last, number 5, social justice for all the people of Indonesia, and captured in the Al-Quran, Surah An-Nur, verse 22. Dear honorable audiences, nowadays we face many problems in life, such as individual life, social life, or even religion. Each new day comes, each new perspectives and ideologies were born. We could see the documentary in which human changed by century spaces from the lifestyle, fashions, foods, currencies, or even political issues. The 16th reigning could probably have a different side compared to the 17th reigning, and so on. Just like floating on the ocean, driven by the wind and waves, and that's how human life nowadays. And keep idealizing freedom, freedom, and freedom. And we got the question, like, why do we get here? How do we get here? And what is our purpose? We got no answer. But Al-Quran said it right. Alif Lam Mim, Dzalikal Kitabu La Raiba Hudal lil Muttaqin. Alif Lam Mim, that is the book. In it is no doubt, and it's the guidelines for those who fear Allah. It is Al-Quran, Al-Furqan, Al-Huda, the path, the guidelines, the message of the whole world regardless gender. It has the whole stories of the human civilization. It has the whole secrets of the captivating galaxies and spaces. Al-Quran has managed our life and has told us everything as the professional life. And if we got the question like, why are we all different? Inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha wa ja'alnakum shu'uban wa qabaila lita'arafu. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum innallaha alimun khabir. Ladies and gentlemen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us everything about life in a very logical and dynamic system of life. That if we break one of the domino's board, we will break another board of it. And it's just, if we disobey one of the law in the Quran, it happens like the domino board. It could affect it to another effect of life. So we have to trust the one, the pure one, and the clear one, Al-Quran and Sunnah. It has the right source, the right law, the right sciences and knowledge is right from our Creator, Allah Azza wa Jalla. Just like fixing the domino's board, Al-Quran could fix our life by reciting, understanding, and practicing the philosophy. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me. Adh-Dhariyat, verse 56. Dear rational believers, after our long journey on this life, through this life on this earth, with all the bad things, with all the sadness, and with all the confidence we've got like today, at the end of the day, we'll recover and we'll realize that life is temporary, and so does the world will become to an end. Then, if we live for ourselves, our deeds, our actions and spirits will die with us. But if we live for others, our deeds, spirits, and actions will never die. Just like the flower in the garden. I mean, just like a flower in the garden then plucked away. It remains nothing but the skin. But it could also grow another beautiful flower. Nowadays, we have to admit that many people struggle to live a good life, but we rather forget how to face it with them. Usikum wa iya nafsi, I may be wrong, you may be wrong, we could be wrong, because the truth is only belongs to Allah alone. I'm off. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. What's your title of your speech?
Mari kita perhatikan lagi.
What's the ayah, the verse of this title of this talk?
Sorry. What?
What's the ayah or the verse related to your speech?
Wa ma khalaqtul jinna wal insa illa liya'budun. So if we live for ourselves, our gifts and spirits will die with us. But if we live for others, we will never die.
What's the difference between life and death? What's your preparation for death?
Good deeds, and we call it amal jariyah.
Okay. Khalas. Enough. Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Ya, dengan tampilnya peserta terakhir kita, berarti rangkaian penjurian di kategori umum untuk hari ini alhamdulillah bisa terlaksana dengan baik. Dewan juri akan rapat selama 1 jam ke depan untuk merekap hasil nilai dari 2 kategori yang dinilai, yaitu kategori pelajar dan kategori umum ini. Jadi teman-teman tetap berada di sini sampai jam 1 jam ke depan untuk kita bersama-sama mendengarkan pembacaan SK. Itu adalah hasil dari penilaian para dewan juri. Jadi yang belum makan malam silakan makan malam, yang bisa dulu, jangan kemana-mana, tetap di ruangan ini. Dan bagi teman-teman yang masih ada di kamar boleh dipanggil untuk bisa bersama-sama ke ruangan ini. Terima kasih. Baik para finalis, kami harap semuanya sudah berada di dalam ruangan ini. Yang di depan boleh maju ke depan, yang di belakang boleh maju ke depan, supaya bisa terdengar dengan baik. Baik Bapak Ibu dan juga para finalis dari santri speech contest tingkat nasional ini, setelah melewati perjalanan panjang selama 2 hari, para dewan juri menilai satu persatu dari kemampuan yang luar biasa dari finalis kategori pelajar sampai dengan hari ini. Semoga apa yang diberikan oleh teman-teman sekalian mendapatkan hasil terbaik. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Biar semangat dong, jangan ngantuk. Kita mulai lagi ya kayak tadi ya. Kalau saya bilang santri speech contest juara, 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 Allahu Akbar ya. Santri speech contest juara, 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 Allahu Akbar. Ya, baik. Kita sudah sampai di penghujung acara hari ini. Mari kita bersama-sama saksikan dan kita dengarkan bagaimana keputusan dari dewan juri yang ada di sini. Dan sebelum diberikan keputusan, saya ulang kembali, ada dewan juri yang bertugas adalah yang pertama ada Profesor Dr. Haji Ahmad Zahro MA. Yang kedua ada Profesor Dr. Haji Saiful Jazil MAG. Dan yang ketiga ada Dr. Muhammad Sanuri Abdillah MHI. Lalu ada Bapak Dr. Johan Tagon Harahap, Ibu Dr. Rahmawati Ali, dan Bapak Dr. Ahmad Sun Haji MPDI. Baik, mari bersama-sama kita sambut Bapak Dr. Haji Ahmad Sun Haji untuk memberikan hasil keputusan dewan juri. Semoga apa yang diberikan keputusan ini menjadi kebaikan untuk kita semua.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahil karimil khalaq. Wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammad al-mab'uts bi tatmimi makarimil akhlaq. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah al-wahhab war-razzaq. Wa asyhadu anna sayyidina Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu wa sayyidus sadat. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammadin khairil ibad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ma jara qalamut talhis wal bayan ala sufahatil awraq. Amma ba'd, yang sama-sama kita muliakan dan kita doakan mudah-mudahan beliau beserta keluarga selalu disehatkan oleh Allah dan dimuliakan oleh Allah. Bapak Kiai Haji Ahmad Rifai MA, pendiri dan pengasuh Pondok Tahfidzul Quran Cinta Rasulullah Jombang, yang sama-sama kita muliakan dan sangat kami muliakan Profesor Dr. Haji Ahmad Zahro MA Al-Hafidh. Ini seperti orang tua saya sendiri walaupun baru beberapa kali ketemu Prof. Yang saya muliakan Profesor Dr. Haji Saiful Jazil MAG. Terima kasih Prof, ini banyak ilmu. Dr. Muhammad Sanuri Abdillah MHI, Dr. salam kenal dan terima kasih kedekatan kita selama beberapa waktu ini sudah merasa dekat saya. Dan ini yang dari awal, juli dari awal sampai malam hari ini, Bapak Johan Tagon Harahap dan Ibu Rahmawati Ali beserta seluruh panitia dan para kiai pengasuh pondok pesantren di seluruh Indonesia yang melihat pengumuman hari ini beserta seluruh peserta yang dari awal mengikuti dan sampai malam hari ini bisa mengikuti final. Ya, tadi yang disebut istilah final di tulisan itu. Nah ini ya, yang sebutnya final untuk di awal ketika teman-teman hadir di sini beserta para pendampingnya tentunya. Sudah disampaikan oleh Bapak Kiai Haji Ahmad Rifai MA